what a goal! You can see how much it means to the players, to the fans, to the manager. The passion is everywhere. Surely there's nothing in the world that could ruin this.
Oh wow, Timo Werner has just scored the opening goal versus Liverpool. This could be incredible. Nope, his arm's offside. Right guys, it is Finn here, hello and welcome to my Premier League Matchweek 28 predictions and previews, where of course I'll be discussing every single game coming up this Premier League Matchweek. And look, you don't have to tell me, I know I say it literally every single week, but another really exciting week of Premier League football coming up, because we've got exciting games like Leeds United versus Chelsea. I feel like there'll be a lot of goals in a game like that. West Ham United versus Manchester United, the North London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspurs. Wolves versus Liverpool. Can Liverpool finally get a win? And of course, a bunch of other really exciting football games that you will not want to miss. And there is a lot at stake. At stake? At stake this Premier League match week, especially pride, because coming to the end of this Premier League season, every single point counts. But ladies and gentlemen, before I get into my predictions, I want to quickly ask you guys to please help me reach 915 subscribers on this channel by the end of the month. I feel like that is very, very achievable. And obviously, I mean, if you like regular football and regular Premier League content, which I mean, I don't know who doesn't, then please do consider hitting that subscribe button down below, because it means you get to see more of my content in the future and it does help me reach that goal. But you know what, without me wasting any more of your time, let's get into my predictions. First game of Premier League Matchweek 28 is going to be between Newcastle United and Aston Villa. Now, although Aston Villa have just drawn 0-0 to Wolves in the game before that, they lost to Sheffield United. Who does that? Even though they've lost a lot of points as of late, I'm still going to give them a win versus Newcastle United, because Newcastle United may be one of the poorest Premier League teams you could ever hope to see, especially considering they don't have Wilson, Almiron and St. Maximum up front, which means their biggest goal threat up front is probably Joe Linton, and Joe Linton enjoys missing goals more than Juventus enjoy not being in the Champions League. It's just inevitable, so unfortunately not much of an attacking threat. Newcastle United just drew 0-0 to West Brom, the most exciting Premier League game I've ever watched, and defensively, although they were strong, can be leaky from time to time. So because of that, I will give Aston Villa a 1-0 win. And in terms of a player to watch, I back Ollie Watkins' chances of getting 2 goals in a game like this. I think he's just going to run circles around that Newcastle United defense. Game number 2 is going to be between Leeds United and Chelsea. Now, I am going to give Chelsea a 2-1 win, and I absolutely loved this reverse fixture early on in the season, because we learned Chelsea can be incredible on their wide attacking play, and Leeds United not so good at defending wide attacking play. So you know what, that means a lot of goals in a game like this, and I am really excited to watch it. I think Chelsea will win it. They have obviously been in better form. They've looked really, really good under Thomas Tuchel, still not losing yet in the Premier League and being very defensively solid. I am going to give them a 2-1 win. Now, poor Leeds United, I mean, in that game versus West Ham United, they lost 2-0. No matter what they did, they just could not score. I mean, they did score a goal, but it was offside. Patrick Bamford just missed the goal, and every shot they took just went straight to a defender. So you know what, until they really improve on that attack, I do think Chelsea will just take the win. As I said, they just beat Everton 2-0, and I have to say, I'm actually getting to the point where I feel sorry for Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. Kai Havertz finally scores. It's counted as an own goal. Timo Werner scores for the 50th time this season from an offside position. I mean, you do have to feel sorry for them to some extent, but I don't know, there's something that warms my heart knowing that Chelsea spent like £200 million in the transfer window, and their best player is still a homegrown player. There's something like very warm inside of me knowing that.
Finally, inner peace.
And in terms of a player to watch, it is going to be that homegrown player. Once again, it is going to be Mason Mount, because in big games like this versus high attacking, counter attacking teams like Leeds United, he always controls the midfield battle and he always creates beautiful chances. Crystal Palace versus West Brom is next. Now, Crystal Palace just lost 4-1 to Tottenham Hotspurs, and I just have to say, I love this picture so much, because it just shows how incredible this game was for Tottenham Hotspurs. And then Gary Cahill just like tops it off in the back and just summarizes Crystal Palace's performance perfectly. He looks like someone who's on his way to bed, then realizes that he hasn't cleaned the dishes yet. But the big question is, can Crystal Palace beat West Brom? Unfortunately, I don't think so. I think West Brom are going to win it. I think attacking wise, they create a lot of chances, and they've done that a lot as of late. They do just need to be more clinical defensively, although their defense can be solid, or not so solid, should I say. John Stone in the goalkeeper position has had top performances so far this season, and I think he'll manage to keep a clean sheet versus Crystal Palace, because Crystal Palace defensively worse than the league in my opinion, and attacking wise they've struggled over the last month or two. And in terms of a player to watch, I mean, it's Crystal Palace versus West Brom. I don't think I need to give a player to watch. I don't think anyone really cares.
Did I disappoint you?
Everton versus Burnley is next, and even though Everton just lost 2-0 to Chelsea, I'll admit, I don't think they had a bad game. We have to come to the realization that, look, Everton aren't going to win the Premier League this season. They are going to lose their fair amount of games, and it is versus Chelsea. They weren't the favourites to win it. Look, no one walked into the season. Yes, I know they're managed by the great Ancelotti, but no one expected Everton to lift the cup with big ears this season. We have to come to that realization. But versus Burnley, I do feel like Everton should win defensively. They've been very, very solid as of late, bar Pickford's rush from time to time. He's been a solid goalkeeper, and attacking-wise, I really do appreciate Everton's chances. They should come out on top versus Burnley, who, although Burnley can be defensively solid, I feel like they do have a chance at winning this. They obviously just drew 1-1 to Arsenal, saying that they did have 2 goalkeepers in that game. But you know what, Burnley have had solid defensive performances. They could stand a chance versus Everton, but I do think Everton will just take this win. And in terms of a player to watch, I'm going to say Richarlison. I think he's been in top form as of late, and I think he'll continue his run in a game like this. Next up, we've got Fulham versus Manchester City. Fulham, the team that just beat Liverpool, versus Manchester City, a team that couldn't even beat Manchester United. Look, obviously I am kidding. I'm going to give Manchester City a very big, comfortable 3-0 win. I mean, that's just inevitable. But well done to Fulham, you know, they've picked up so many points as of late, and statistically looking at them, they don't look like a team that's struggling for relegation. They just beat Liverpool, and they really defended Liverpool quite well, where Manchester City, obviously looking at them in that game versus Manchester United, I thought they controlled the first half, but defensively they made a few too many mistakes, and they did look quite sloppy. They didn't know how to man mark, and attacking wise, they were not clinical. I mean, I swear a baby could kick a ball harder than that Manchester City attack in that game. But you know what, versus a team like Fulham, I expect Manchester City to do the deed, because obviously before that there were like 21, 22 wins in a row. So you know what, I don't think it's all just going to fall now. I don't think they're going to crumble. They're not Liverpool.
It became personal with me.
I do think that Manchester City are going to beat Fulham quite comfortably, and in terms of a player to watch, I'm going to go for Kevin De Bruyne, always a favourite to watch in a fixture like this. Southampton versus Brighton is next, and to be honest, it's going to be a lot closer than what Southampton would be comfortable with. In fact, I'm going to go Brighton the win in this one, because looking at Southampton, their defence has been so leaky as of late this Premier League season, and I still can't believe this. Yes, this Southampton team was top of the Premier League table at a stage, but as of late, it's been a rapid decline. They're struggling to score, and their defense has been horrible. I mean, they've just lost 5-2 to Manchester City, which, I mean, scoring 2 goals past Manchester City is great nowadays. Conceding 5, not so much, no matter who you are. So I really don't back Southampton defensively past Brighton, because Brighton, attacking wise, can be brilliant. And also looking at Brighton, look, a tiny bit like Fulham, they're not close to the top of the Premier League table, even though they have a future Ballon d'Or winner, but they do pick up their odd points here and there. They're valuable points, and I back Brighton to pick up the points past Southampton, because as of late, Brighton's defense has been really, really solid. So you know what, I think Brighton should have this one in the bag. And in terms of a player to watch, although in the losing team, I hardly ever do this, but I'm actually going to go for Shea Adams, because as I said, Southampton have been struggling to attack, but as of late, Shea Adams has been getting the odd goal here and there, and I back him to, although not win it past Brighton, I expect him to maybe get a goal. Leicester City versus Sheffield United is next, and obviously I feel like I have to give Leicester City the win in this one. Obviously they are the better team all around with the better players, but you know what, I'm only going to give them a 2-0 win. Not sure how confident I actually am in Leicester City's abilities. They have the ability to bottle games. Obviously the game before this, they beat Brighton 2-1, and they only got the winner in the dying minutes of the game. So you know what, Leicester City, you can be a bit dodgy at times, but I do back you guys to win, even though you have injuries in defense. But Sheffield United, you know, they get get their fair amount of chances every single game. As I said, even when they lost 2-0 versus Southampton, they had a lot of chances, but attacking wise, they still really desperately need a new striker. I mean, genuinely, why in the beginning of the season did we all think Brewster would be the main man for Sheffield United? Just because he scored like 11 goals in the Championship last season? I mean, no, good question. Why did we think he would be the next big thing for them? Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, next up we've got the big game of this Premier League match week, the North London derby, Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspurs. It's always a fantastic one to watch, and I'm going to give Tottenham Hotspurs a 3-2 win. I think there'll be a lot of goals in a game like this, and looking at Tottenham Hotspurs, I obviously favour them to win. I think defensively, they've been a bit stronger as of late. Attacking wise, I mean, they've scored 4 goals in each of their last 2 games. Previously, as I said, they just won 4-1 past Crystal Palace, which not the first time this week that someone named Harry has upset a Palace. Make it! But let's just say, looking at this Tottenham Hotspurs team, look, obviously they are not where we expect them to be at this stage of the season. We expected them to be fighting for almost to be title contenders. But you know what? Past Arsenal, I do expect them to win because Arsenal, I mean, genuinely this season, not impressive overall. Obviously, they've just drawn 1-1 to Burnley, and that's only because Xhaka finally got an assist. Just a pity it's for the wrong team. I just feel like there are way too many problems in this Arsenal team. I mean, attacking wise, they had a bunch of chances past Burnley, but they just seem to be rushing them and shooting them straight at the defense. To be honest, I don't feel like this Arsenal attack is clinical enough, and that's coming from all areas of the pitch. They do have their moments of brilliance, but just not good enough. And past the likes of Tottenham Hotspurs, I just back their chances better, just because they've been in slightly better form. And in terms of a player to watch, I mean, look, it's everywhere in the news. You just have to go for Prince Harry. Second last game of this match week, ladies and gentlemen, will be Manchester United versus West Ham United. I am so excited for this game, or at least I was, because Jesse Lingard will not be playing for West Ham United. He is not allowed to play against Manchester United, which, I mean, yes, I know when that's written into his contract, it's exactly like the concept of VAR. I mean, in theory, it sounds like a great idea and it's a smart thing, but it just ruins the fun of the game. I mean, I would just love, look, I don't care if Manchester United lose to it, but I would just love to see Jesse Lingard ping one into the top right corner of the goal. That would just be my dream. I feel like Jesse Lingard should be given his chance versus Manchester United. Look, obviously it's a smart thing to put in his contract, but I mean, it's just not going to be fun not watching Jesse Lingard, you know, especially because he has been West Ham United's best player as of late. But without his creative ability in the midfield, without this in-form attacking midfielder on the team, I am going to give Manchester United the win. I'm going to give them a 2-1 win. Not a massive win, because obviously Manchester United's home form hasn't been that good as of late. But obviously, I mean, Manchester United have just beat Manchester City. Attacking wise, they looked a lot better. Defensively, they looked very, very strong, obviously. So of course, beating the blue side of Manchester, I expect Manchester United to hopefully carry on the form. I don't know, Manchester United, we're a weird bunch. We can beat absolutely any team in the world, but then, you know, draw with Crystal Palace or even lose to Crystal Palace. So versus West Ham United, I'm hoping we can get the win, even though there are still big names in this team. And in terms of a player to watch, going to be tricky. I'm going to go with the safe answer of Bruno Fernandes, probably going to get a penalty and maybe an odd assist, if not Luke Shaw, because he's been brilliant as of late. But ladies and gentlemen, let me quickly remind you before I get into my final game of this Premier League prediction video that I will be live streaming tonight. Yes, the day this video is coming out, the Europa League game between Manchester United and AC Milan. I'll be doing a live watch along. So of course, if you want to join me, have a bit of fun and watch the game with me, subscribe to this channel and hit that little bell notification to be notified when I do go live. It's always a fun experience. Final game, ladies and gentlemen, of this Premier League match week will be Wolves versus Liverpool. And guys, this is going to be a huge shock, but I am going to give Liverpool a win in this game. Look, I feel like giving Liverpool a win nowadays, it's scary. I don't remember the last time Liverpool bar Sheffield United actually won a Premier League game. They have obviously been in a really bad place defensively. They are just absolutely non-existent. You know Liverpool are in a bad spot when they start to put James Milner in every single position. But you know, I back Liverpool's chances of getting a win versus Wolves. And it's not just because Liverpool just beat RB Leipzig. I thought their attack in the game was brilliant. Obviously, they kept a clean sheet. Things were looking good for Liverpool. But looking at Wolves in their previous game in that 0-0 draw versus Aston Villa, Wolves had their fair amount of chances. I'm pretty sure they even cleared a goal off the goal line for one of their own goals. And all that game versus Aston Villa taught me is, I think Wolves would be better suited off if they put Connor Cody in the striker position. He probably had more chances than anyone. But as I said, although Wolves can be defensively tricky to get past, attacking wise, they are still not there without their main man. And I feel like a broken recorder saying that every single game, but they are genuinely, they are struggling without a striker. And I think that could be costly or at least interesting versus this Liverpool team. But you know what, as I said, interesting decision, but I am going to give Liverpool the win because even in their game when they lost versus Fulham, they had their fair amount of chances towards the end of the game, and genuinely I think they'll take their chances versus Wolves, and I think they'll get a narrow 1-0 win. And in terms of a player to watch, once again, it is going to be Mo Salah. I mean, probably the most consistent player on the pitch and the most likely player to score in a game like this. But ladies and gentlemen, that will be it for today's video. I hope that you have enjoyed this preview/prediction video where I've discussed Premier League Matchweek 28. Once again, if you're not subscribed to this channel, why not? Please do consider doing so. I would really appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, please tell me why in the comment section down below so that I can learn how to improve. I would appreciate that. Along with that, please get this video to 10 likes as that does help my channel grow. But guys, that'll be it for my Premier League prediction video. Some interesting games are there. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy and join me on my live stream. I would really appreciate that. But guys, have a good one. Finn, FY-double-N. Cheers.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming, it's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw